Hello there. I hope you guys are all doing okay. I wanted to hop on here and talk about why I was mentioning Turnaround Tuesday yesterday. Also, over the weekend, I mentioned on my weekly setup list that the market was tired. We were at all-time highs. The weekly candles closed red and to be watching for a potential correction. So last night I posted this, and these were the scenarios of what I wanted to see happen if we were going to get some downside continuation. Okay, first up we have the Q's weekly chart. This is what we call exhaustion risk, when we had a previous high and then we made a new high. So now we're at all-time highs. We have no one to be long against because anybody who was short is now stopped out. So their stops are not forcing the market higher anymore. And we also completed this weekly broadening formation. So back here in January, we had a low, and then in March, we had a new low. So anyone who had stops here got taken out by this candle. And then we started to make a new series. So then we had this 2 down, 2 up, and the goal was to take this out. And we did that. So I was like, hey, if we break last week's low this week, look out. So looking at the weekly chart, oops, didn't mean to do that. Looking at the weekly chart only, that would be the first target. So the entry would have been at the break of 336.90, first target, we'll call it 334. Then we go to the daily. And what do we like to do? We like to find more targets on the daily time frame. So doing that, we found 1, 2 more. We still have this one, and then you have some gaps to fill. And here's the weekly broadening formation on the daily time frame. Okay, now let's also look at SPY. So SPY's been stronger comparative to QQQ this pretty much this whole first part of the year. So the whole first quarter and so far the second quarter, because QQQ's already broken its last weekly high or low. So let's go to the weekly on SPY. So same thing, we had a 2 up, this was all-time highs, we're at exhaustion. So then again this week, if I said, if we break below here, that's gonna be our target. And then we always again go into the daily and we get more targets. So I marked the bottom of this candle and the bottom of this candle, and we stopped right in between the two. So that's a pretty nice short. So from 416 to we'll call it 412. Okay, then real quick, I wanted to talk about my weekly setups, why I was watching them, what the trigger was, what the target was. Okay, so here I'm going to go through these real fast. So you CGC, you have an inside week. The entry was this orange line, the target was the pink line. So that was successful. HD, I had this on my list for short, but it didn't trigger, so you could have just as well taken this to the long side. So the entry was at the top of this inside bar when this candle opened. Entry, target, and then psychological targets. So 230, 230, 250, and then 335 would be the next one. Nvidia, this one's amazing. It's a big, giant broadening formation on the weekly time frame. We had 2 inside bars on the weekly chart. This is one of the best setups that you can hope for. It's because if you go on the daily, all it is it's a nice tightening range. You had a high, a low, a lower high, and then that was the level in which we broke. The target was 565. We took it out beautifully. We were also at exhaustion risk because again, we were at all-time highs. So hoping, that this is going to keep going up and up. It could have. If we would have broken it to the upside this week instead of the downside, your target would have been the all-time high, but it didn't. So that was the short. And I was looking more bearish this whole week because of how tired the market looked. Okay, BA. This was a great trade today. So the weekly entry was a break below the inside bar with that as your target. But the daily entry gave you a beautiful early entry. So this is called a rev strat. These three candles right here. You have an inside bar, a failed 2 in one direction, and then a 2 in the other direction. So the entry, the early entry was 233.81, target 1, target 2, and that was a big area to fill, but we came halfway and we stopped at 225 psychological. So that was a good level to also take profits. UAL on the weekly, I had this as a long play, but it didn't get triggered long, it got triggered short. This is a tricky one too because there's no nearby targets. This is the closest nearby target. So this one has not been successful yet. Airbnb. We had a 2 up. It was red, so I was looking short. Entry was here. Target 1 was here. Target 2 was here. It literally hit it to the penny almost. So that was successful. Apps. Everybody questioned, why did I have this on my list? It's a 2 up and it's green. Yeah, it is. But it was a 2 up from this week and it didn't go anywhere. I call this a failed 2 up. So what's the next 2? So I said, if we break, all these setups are the same. If we break last week's low, that's the target. That's the broadening formation target. So I connected this low to this low and that's where we tapped. Baba. You have a weekly broadening formation here. Short here, target here, bam, done, successful. Blink, didn't quite hit the target, so entry was there, 35.75. Target was here at 32.36. We hit the 32s, we hit 32.73. If you can't make profit on that, you're doing something wrong. Don't take profits along the way. It doesn't always have to hit your target. Don't call this an unsuccessful trade because it didn't hit that exactly. This was a $3 move on a 30-something stock, so that's like a 10% move. Okay, Chewy, same setup, easy setup. 2 up, 2 down, entry here, target here. That would be the next target, 75.14. PDD, so far this is the one that just hasn't worked. So you have a 3, a 2 up but red, and then we open as a 2 down, so the entry is here, the target is here. What's this doing on the daily? Let's go look. Okay, so that's probably why. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive daily lower highs. What I would like to see for this to hit the target of 123, I would like to see a 2 up followed by a 2 down in continuation. So we need corrective activity here. Tesla, I had on my list as a potential bullish rev strat, but that only means it's a bullish rev strat if we break above last week's high, which we were obviously nowhere near doing. Tesla instead gave us a really great short today. So let's go look at the daily. We had, we had an outside bar on Friday. We had an inside bar on Monday. Tuesday, we gapped down. We came up, we filled the gap. So anytime the price was below 679.47, oh, sorry, magnet's not on, hold on. Anytime the price was below 680.50, you were good to short. Target 1 was here, the low of the outside day. Target 2 was the low of last month's low. See, here's the monthly. That was last month's low, that 659 level. So entry here, target 1, target 2. Okay, I hope I talked fast enough. Just wanted to come on, talk to you guys. What's going to happen the rest of the week, we don't know. Hopefully we'll get an inside bar tomorrow. And then we can go and see what kind of actionable signals we get going forward.